Do you want to go from dark under eyes to bright under eyes in just 3 easy steps? Well, first, before applying any makeup, you always want to start by hydrating and moisturizing your under eyes to help reduce the appearance of the dark under eye circles. Even though dark circles under the eyes can be caused from genetics, too much sun exposure under the eyes, and also the appearance of veins underneath your eyes, hydrating it can help reduce the appearance of these. So I like to use an eye cream under my eyes, and when I look for an eye cream, I like to look for one that contains both vitamin C and vitamin E, because those two ingredients help reduce the production of melanin, which helps to lighten up that area. One of my favorite eye creams for dark under eye circles is the First Aid Beauty Skin Lab Retinol Eye Cream. It contains triple hyaluronic acid, and I love this eye cream because it contains both vitamin C and vitamin E, and it also keeps my under eyes hydrated, as you can see here, and helps to prevent darkness. So before applying a brightening concealer, you want to cancel out the darkness underneath your eyes. If you don't cancel out the darkness first, you'll get a gray looking finish under your eyes because the darkness will show underneath the concealer. Typically, we use concealers as color correctors to cancel out darkness, and there's so many different types out there for different reasons. But don't just buy any product. Make sure the products that you're buying or using is going to cancel out the darkness underneath your eyes. If you have dark under eyes and your skin tone is brown or dark, you want to use an orange concealer to cancel out the darkness. If you have a lighter skin tone and under your eyes is dark, then you want to use a peach color. If your under eyes are red, then you want to use a green concealer to cancel out that redness. And if your under eyes are purple, then you want to use a yellow concealer to cancel out the darkness. The point of color correcting is to neutralize the color and tone underneath your eyes, so it's very important to place a small amount. If you place too much, the color corrector will show underneath the brightening concealer, which will defeat the purpose of you applying it. So instead, you want to only focus on the areas that are dark and avoid the areas that don't need correction. If you have really dark under eyes, then you want to use a little bit more than I'm using. And if you have under eye bags, which are different from under eye dark circles, then you want to correct on the spot that has the dark shadow. This will give an illusion that the bags aren't there. So once you place the corrector concealer, you want to lightly blend it out, making sure that the sponge doesn't absorb the pigment of the concealer. You can use a beauty sponge or you can use your fingers to blend it out. I like to use my fingers to blend it out because it has a little bit of warmth that's going to warm up the concealer and give it a nice flawless blend without absorbing any of the concealer. As you can see, my under eyes are neutralized and you don't see much darkness under my eyes. So when applying foundation, I like to avoid placing the foundation under my eyes because sometimes it can cause creasing. Then after applying foundation, I like going in with a brightening concealer. You want to use a concealer shade that is about 3 or 4 shades lighter than your skin tone to brighten up your under eye area. If you want to avoid creasing, then opt for a concealer that is more lightweight and more liquid than like a thick creamy concealer, because that will prevent your under eyes from creasing. If you don't have any problems with creasing, then you can use a creamy concealer. So the concealer that I'm going to use is this ColourPop Pretty Fresh concealer. I like this because it's also really hydrating and it's a more of like a liquid consistency because I get creasing under my eyes. So when applying the brightening concealer, you want to focus only on the inner portion of your eye and the outer portion of your eye because that's the area that is usually dark, so you want to brighten them up and let it sit for about 2 minutes before blending it out so that it can get tacky and won't get absorbed by the beauty blender. Then after 2 minutes, I like using the sharp end of the beauty sponge. Make sure the beauty sponge is damp and not wet. If the beauty sponge is wet, it's just going to absorb that concealer and won't leave that coverage on your under eyes. The goal is to blend it out flawlessly without moving the color corrector concealer. This helps to diffuse the concealer, giving it a gradient natural finish while still leaving a little bit of coverage. So I like to lightly bounce the concealer under my eyes and gradually bringing it upwards towards my lash line. As you can see, my under eye looks brighter, awake, and alive. You don't see the color corrector shade, neither do you see that darkness underneath my eyes. A common mistake people make is using the wrong setting powder for their skin type. It's important to know which setting powder is best for your skin type. That's why you really need to watch this video right here, because in this video, I break down all the different types of setting powders and which one you should use for your skin type.
KLJ, welcome to a channel where it's poppin'.